this is the first video of me preparing the fabric for the patchwork coat. This is the one I wanted to make, but unfortunately when I made this before it came out miles too big, so I wanted the next size down and I couldn't find it without spending an arm and a leg, so unfortunately I'll have to wait until I can find that one in the size I want cheaper. So I looked through my stash and found this. Now I made this version before, and this time I'm going to make B with sleeves, and it's actually called a jacket. So it's that one there, B. So I prepared my fabric. It's Moda layer cake called Wild Iris, and it's got lights and darks as you would expect. I decided to do 10 inches, but obviously you could do 5 if you wanted more sewing to do. And then I prepared all my fabric to draw a pattern with yellow chalk. That can be rubbed out. So there's my 2 sleeves, so that's me. And then these are the 2 fronts with pockets. So instead of following where before it says to do and from the bottom and turn up and etc the way I did before, because I've done a tutorial on the other one, I just did patchwork and sewn them directly on. Of course that gives you more quilting at the back, which is absolutely fine because that's what it's all about. So there's the 2 fronts I did. The only mistake I made, but then it isn't really a mistake, but if you wanted them to be exactly level, then obviously when you put your fabric on your quilted fabric that's made up, if you put your pattern on the fabric that you've made up for quilting it, then you need to make sure you put it in the same place. I didn't realise that until later. And then that's the back. It looks quite large, but I assume once I put all the seams in and start sewing it together, and if it's a jacket it's got to go on top of other clothes anyway, and I've done it the size smaller than what I did the original, the D without the sleeves, the gilet as I call it. And so that's the lining. What I've got to do now is actually start sewing. So this is actually my fabric that I'm using, and I've got to sew my fronts to my shoulder seams and then put my sleeves in and then sew up. And then this is the only thing so far I haven't done anything with, and that's the front that goes all the way across, up the front, around the neck and down the other side. So I'm not sure, I think I need to patchwork that, but I'm not sure yet. So I'm just going to put my shoulder seams together, because what I might do then is I would have to bind these seams on the inside, so I'll have to make some binding, but I should probably use this colour. I decided to go from dark to lighter colour, except for the patch pockets, the only 2 I had left after I used all the others that matched, because I wanted the same either side for my pockets, but you don't have to. How you make this is entirely up to you. It's your patchwork coat. But anyway, this is my fabric. So basically, if you class this as buying fabric, putting it at the table, putting your pattern on, and then sewing it all together, that's exactly what you're doing, except for you've done more work on your fabric beforehand.